Hi friends, I recently came across this Hortuzz Hydroponic System. This is a 8-pod hydroponic system. I found this on Amazon for just $40. So I just want to give it a try and see how it works and how it is compared to my Aerogarden Harvest. So first unboxing. There are some instructions. Wow, this looks so compact. So to start with the comparison, this looks very similar to Aerogarden Harvest in terms of size. One nice thing I noticed at this point is the light adjustment starts with all the way bottom. So it starts with about an inch, and from that 1 inch we can expand the light pole from 1 inch to 14 inches. In fact, 14.5 inches. That is really awesome. 14 inches height is really good and works for many plants. Now let's see what is inside the box. The grow deck is plain and simple. It's just one piece. So here are some sponges, some pod baskets, pod covers. Oh, these are not actually pod covers, these are the hole covers. If you have any unused holes, we can cover them using these covers. The adapter, and this is the nutrition. So this nutrition is a little complicated to use compared to Aerogarden. This comes as A and B, and these are dry nutrients. We have to dissolve them in water and use them. So Aerogarden nutrients are very straightforward. Just one bottle and it is ready to use. That's it. There is a pump inside. There is a port here to connect the pump. The bowl looks very simple. It's pretty clean. There is nothing inside. It's pretty easy to clean anytime. And there's a little hole here if you want to change the water without moving the plants. You can just open it, take out all the old water and close it, then start with fresh water. So on the bowl we can clearly see the water level. So this is just going to move the water through this small pump connector. That's it. This system is in fact looking very similar to iDoo. For a minute I thought this is actually made by iDoo as well, but it is not. This is Hortuzz. Looks like these companies are different, but probably like they are only the brands, but the manufacturers or the designers are same. So this is my iDoo 10-pod hydroponic system, which has exact same design, very similar grow deck and very similar concept inside. A motor and a water dispenser and water see-through. The only difference is the pump connects to the light panel here, but for this one the pump connects to the bowl itself. Other than that, this iDoo and Hortuzz looks exactly same. I'm just comparing the light adjustment between Aerogarden and this Hortuzz. Aerogarden light can be extended only 11 inches, while the Hortuzz light pole can be extended up to 14 inches. That's really nice compared to Aerogarden. Now coming to the lights, Hortuzz mentioned in the manual that it has the light overall power 21 watt, exactly 21.5 watts. The Aerogarden Harvest has 20 watt lights. So one key difference I want to mention is the water irrigation. In the Aerogarden, the water will be pumped through this grow deck Aerogarden Harvest Grow Deck has a very nice design where the water will be pumped to this grow deck and the water will be equally distributed to all pots. So the pots will always be moist or wet. That will help the plant absorb water very well. Of course, that only matters when the plants are young. Once the plants are big enough and have longer roots, the roots will always stay in the water and they always get the water. So that's not a big deal. But the deal is the oxygen. Because the water is flowing very well in Aerogarden, the water will get a lot more oxygen. Whereas in Hortuzz, the water is not flowing. There's a little pump that will move the water, but it doesn't really generate any oxygen. In practical, I didn't see huge differences in the past, like when I'm comparing iDoo and Aerogarden while growing tomatoes, lettuce, radish, etc. I didn't really notice a huge difference. Yeah, definitely there is a little bit of slowdown on the plant growth. That could be because of the lights. Even though they mentioned 20 watt or 21 watt, the plants are not probably getting the enough light, or it could be the oxygen in the water. So the system design wise, this Hortuzz is looking more like iDoo system, but the size wise it is looking very close to Aerogarden. Even the lights are very close to Aerogarden lights according to their manuals. The next thing I want to mention is the indicators. Aerogarden has nutrition indicator and water indicator. Now coming to this Hortuzz, it doesn't have the nutrition indicator at all. So we have to remember when to feed the plants. Coming to water indicator, we can monitor the water level here and refill the bowl as needed. Now let's see how the water will flow in this system. I'm going to connect this to the power just to see what happens, how the pump reacts, are there any indicators. I recommend don't do this because these pumps are meant for water. So if there are no water, they may burn out. I'm not really sure. I ran it a couple of times. Nothing happened to me, but just because they are water pumps, I recommend don't run them without water, just for the safety. So now I'm connecting. Alright, so the pump started. I see there is little vibration. So the pump is working. There is no water in it. And I don't see any indicators. If I do same thing on iDoo 10 pod model, we can see little beep. That's the beep. It is very quiet, but we can still listen to it. That's another beep. Here is another one. So basically it gives some beeps, but Hortuzz is not giving any beeps. Now let's talk about a couple of buttons coming on the Hortuzz. So it has 4 buttons: power, water, and there are 2 modes. These are grow modes. One is vegetable and one is flower and fruits. So this power is just to turn on or off the power, and the water. So I don't see why we need to turn off the water. I never do that. We really need water to run all the time. So I always keep it on. I would say they can just handle this default instead of giving us the option. But yeah, if somebody wants to turn it off, they can use this button to turn it off. But while plants are growing, I never do that. Now coming to modes. Yeah, this is sometimes I feel a little silly. I'm using Aerogardens for a long time. The Elite and Bounty models of Aerogarden have different grow modes like veggies, tomatoes, or fruits, etc. But that is just to maintain the light duration. But here there are modes. They change the lights. So this light panel has white, blue, and red lights. They adjust the lights between these 2 modes, but I don't really see any difference between these 2 modes. We can literally have anything that works for both. Like I have grown tomatoes using this vegetable mode, and in the next cycle I used flower mode, and I see no difference at all. So to avoid all the confusion, the simple rule I follow is, for all the leafy green vegetables and herbs, I use vegetable mode. When I'm growing tomatoes, I start with vegetable mode. Once the plants start to flower, I switch to this flower and fruit mode. Even though it doesn't make much difference, I'll simply follow that rule, and that's working very well for me with all my iDoo hydroponic systems. So I'm going to follow same thing with Hortuzz as well. That is all about the design factors with Hortuzz and in comparison with Aerogarden and iDoo. Though the design aspects are really important to me, I'm more of a practical person. So I'm going to start growing something in this Hortuzz and see how the results are. I'm going to do the testing in two phases. In the first phase, I'm going to start something comes really quick, like radish, bok choy, lettuce. They come pretty quick. And in the second phase, I'm going to take some bigger things like tomatoes, which takes about 100 days to produce the ripened tomatoes. So I'm going to start with phase 1. I will grow radishes in this garden and see how they turn out. I just want to show you how this pump works. So I'm adding some water into it. Alright, now we can see how the pump is pumping the water. This is really nice. Alright, the garden is ready with Saxa to radish. This radish will be ready in 20 to 25 days. I have grown these radishes a lot in Aerogarden and iDoo hydroponic system, and I always got radishes within 25 days. Let's see how they will turn out in this Hortuzz hydroponic system. That is all for now. I will post the updates once I am done with this radish garden. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.